us.
Ole Miss spring practice set to kick off like everybody else around the country. Now, some universities and colleges have already, almost exhausted all of their spring practice. A lot of questions around the country when you look at Ole Miss. Of course, if you guys want to read about it, you'll need a subscription to On3. You can go read Jake's article on Ole Miss being teed up with a long haul with one of the best quarterback rooms in the country. I just retweeted that earlier on X. I want to talk a little bit about that without giving it all away. But what are the, 1, 2, 3's for Ole Miss, bringing a lot of new guys to campus, trying to get everybody on the same page in 15 practices?
Yeah, and for us, I think Kiffin's even becoming more Saban-esque, and he is really kind of keeping the curtain pulled for spring with us once we start up getting to see a little bit once a week. Next week once spring break's done this week. But they're really going to take it easy. He's just trying to keep everybody, the ones that are healthy, and the ones that have had to have some off-season, cleanups or some procedures. They will do very little, and get ready for the summer workouts, and then come August for fall camp. So it's going to be hard to kind of see progress when it comes to that in terms of what little we're going to see. But the questions that they need to answer internally is get all these new guys as meshed as possible. Which this is old hat for Kiffin now, who's mastered having half a new roster, 3 months after the last season's, completed, and getting these guys to buy in. They had they had better chemistry last year. When they referenced 2 seasons ago, there was just a lot of good players, but they didn't feel like they had a great team. They had individual guys kind of maybe looking out for number one, so to speak. But last year it all came together, and we saw how it ended, winning the Peach Bowl, emphatically, over in Atlanta over Penn State. And so but I think positionally, they need to see how Walter Nolan and Princely and meshes and gets that defensive line, Golding entering year 2, and we saw how good he can kind of improve a defense, throughout year 1. Now he's going to have all his fingerprints on it, and his guys that he's recruited and high school guys with 3 impressive, high school kids signed and will be here or are here or will all be here come summer. So I think that's the key thing, and how, it's kind of the trenches for both sides. How will the offensive line improve? They went and got some guys in the portal. Some other guys are a year older, but they've got to show it, because that was kind of the one weak spot last year of a potent offense is that offensive line. So now they got 15 practices to kind of go through whatever the motions, or maybe put on the pads a couple of days and get some reps in. And they won't have Dart full go. He was one of those that underwent some cleanup, I think on an ankle issue, just to get him full strength for what's going to be a special 2024. So that opens the door for Walker Howard to get reps, and then Austin Simmons when he's able to come over, not outside of splitting baseball time. So it's really I think Walker Howard's going to benefit the most from that. I know that's a long-winded answer, but there's just so many kind of question marks that we may not get to see answered, but that they need to answer internally.
No, that makes 100%. That makes 100%. Kind of facts there of what's going on at Ole Miss practice. Jake Thompson talking Ole Miss. Let me ask you about the quarterback room. You mentioned that in your piece, but without kind of telling what's in the piece, you talk about that quarterback room, and you mentioned Walker Howard. And, I think that was a big win to keep him on campus for Ole Miss, with Dart coming back, because he looks to be, at least today, the heir apparent to Dart after this year. But Kiffin has done a really good job, and I think Ole Miss has done a great job of stocking that quarterback room, because a lot of teams don't have that. You look around the country, and you could probably reel off 10 teams where, they got a transfer guy this year that's going to be pretty good, but then they got to go get another guy next year. Now, that doesn't mean Ole Miss won't look for another quarterback after this year, but that room is teed up and one of the better ones in the country.
Yeah, this is Dart's team. After 2 years of a competition in spring, he's the guy. Doesn't have to worry about Walker Howard this spring, usurping him. They know the pecking order and the hierarchy, and Howard is for 2025. And you've also got Simmons. I mean, you may have kind of what I wrote in there as they may have their third quarterback battle in 4 years, but not till next spring, because you're going to have Simmons and Howard kind of at equal playing field and playing time and in classification. I mean, there's not really right now a difference, because we just haven't seen either get a lot of time outside of maybe putting them in for garbage time in games that are out of hand. And and then you got A.J. Maddox, who they flipped from Texas A&M, the Oak Grove product, who is now this is his freshman season coming up. So now they've got 3 guys that's kind of right there. But as you said, quarterback and almost every other position, you can't have enough guys, because you don't know who's going to be there in 5 months, or come December after a season, with the way these transfer portal windows are. And now you don't know if it'll stick, but these guys who can at the moment transfer multiple times without penalty, as we saw kind of happen there in December, that allowed Ole Miss to have some guys eligible for the bowl game. So the quarterback situation right now is looking great with Dart for 24 and beyond. And with the way the college football playoffs are expanding and how they want to alter the format maybe even more, it just plays into Ole Miss's hands and what Kiffin can do. And with the new schedule and the lack of divisions and all that, it really opens up. There's more of a margin of error. And if Ole Miss can kind of get this lined up with their quarterbacks and their offense moving forward, I think they have a shot to be an every year contender for the playoffs, at least in the short term.
Jake Thompson always does a great job. Make sure to follow him on 3 at Jake Thompson on 3, part of the Ole Miss Spirit, at OM Spirit on 3 as well. Jake, thank you so much. Look, we'll catch up and do it again soon. I know it's going to be a busy week for you guys with baseball, basketball, and, of course, spring football. It's a busy time of year. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jake. Look forward to talking to y'all again.